Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Panther Pawcast. I'm Jeff Vanderbeck, your host. This is brought to you by the Pikeville High School and also Two Chicks and Company located at Hamley Boulevard, who they have a tremendous amount of great gifts. They love to deliver to Pikeville High School, Elementary School, specialty items, great things going on. If you love your teacher, call them at 766-7777 or go by and they will deliver and gift wrap it directly for you. So today I'm joined by some folks. A couple weeks ago, we had we talked to Miss Scott about an initiative that the students took on about UK Healthy Way. It all dealt with smoking and the effects of vaping and smoking and all that other nonsense. We know smoking is bad for you, but we just didn't know the danger. She told us that there were some students who were worked very hard on making this initiative happen. They did a presentation, they did a whole thing from start to finish. And I'm joined today by four very special students who are intricately involved with this thing on the UK Healthy Way program. Today I'm joined by Zoe Cornett to my right, your all's left, or the young lady with the black hair, and Katherine Dolohite, and she's over closer to the camera. Ladies, welcome to our the Panther Pawcast, and I want to commend you on this project. So talk to me a little bit about the project and what happened, and tell me from your perspective what you learned and what you did. Katherine, I'll let you start first because you're the one smiling.
Where do you want me to start?
Well, tell me your involvement and tell me how the initiative started.
So the whole thing actually started whenever I think it was last semester. Miss Scott was like, "We need to come up with an idea for this year. We need to come up with an idea for this year," and we were like, "Well, we already started a vaping campaign from last year, but we really didn't get to do much with it because of the way the schedule is set up and everything." And we had a speaker that came to us, and I guess he really persuaded all of us to kind of be like, "Hey, Miss Scott, why don't we start this and actually finish
Sure.
this?"
And so you had the idea, and what was the involvement? What happened? Tell me what both of your all's involvement was. Zoe, tell me what intrigued you about it, and what ideas came to your mind on how to make this project happen.
Well, one, I just know I'm not gonna say, names or anything, but I know a bunch of, people that vape that probably shouldn't, and I just think people need to know more about it before they start doing something and get addicted to it.
What did you guys learn about the process of smoking and vaping? I mean, we see everybody doing it, everybody does it, but what did you learn? If you could take one thing away from your project, what was that thing you took away from the project about vaping and the dangers of it?
There's a lot to do with your your mind, your brain, the chemicals interact with your brain chemistry and that kind of stuff, and people our age that do it don't quite understand that our brains aren't fully developed yet, so
I've been telling my children that for years. I'm glad you brought that up. Your brains aren't fully developed, and what you're doing is you're killing brain cells because of this vaping. Because it's not just the smoke or the tobacco, it's all the carcinogens and all the chemicals in the vape pen. Is that a correct statement?
that is very correct.
And Zoe, what did you think about this? I mean, did you have was there an aha moment like, geez, this is really bad and I need to let people know about it?
I mean, I've kinda always heard, this is bad," we were in there in, elementary and middle school, every month or something, and we just kept hearing, this is bad," and I guess some people just didn't really realize how bad it really is, that it can affect, well, your life, one, it can affect your brain, it can affect your body, and it can affect anything, really.
How are your fellow students taking the research and the information that you've learned that you've obtained? Are they grasping that and saying, geez, I should probably throw my vape out and stop vaping? Or are they saying, you guys are crazy. I'm going to go out and vape more?
So, like I said at the beginning, we had a guest speaker come and talk to us,
Right.
and at the end of his, speech or whatever, he was like, "Okay, I have $10, $20 gift cards to Walmart, Taco Bell, Amazon, all this different stuff. If somebody will give up their vape, no trouble." All the teachers left, they were like, "If you will give up your vape, we will give you one of these gift cards." And there was I think 4 or 5 vapes turned in, a bunch of Zen, like, that kinda stuff, so I feel like that really helped impact this, people fully understanding. I think it genuinely, like, depends on the person, like, some people, like the ones who turned in their vapes, I think they wanted to quit, but I don't think they had the determination to put it down. And just some people don't care.
So there was an incentive for them to do that. So I was talking to Miss Scott about this process. Back when her and I were growing up, we had what was called Joe Camel. Joe Camel was the cool guy back in the 70s, and he was cool and he was smoking products, vaping pens, they're everywhere. If you guys go into the gas station to get gas in your car and get a cup of coffee before you go to school, it's right there at the register. Have you guys tried to talk to legislatures about trying to move those things? Is that something that this project might be able to help to get that stuff out of line of sight for younger adults?
I think that could be a great possibility because there's already been the law or whatever passed in Kentucky that you cannot buy, like, flavored vapes in just gas stations anymore. They have to be bought at vape shops.
Vape shops.
They can't just be distributed wherever, and I feel like that's something that would actually be really good.
So you guys have a survey going out. Tell me about the survey, Zoe.
It asks, like, a bunch of, like, "Do you know this about vapes? Do you know you could get in trouble for this at school?" Like, it just asks a bunch of, like, like, thinking questions, like, "Do you know this?" And just to make people think about the question.
And have people been filling out the survey? Have the students that you go to school with, are they filling out the survey?
Yeah, some of them. There's been a few. Miss Scott is planning on, like, making a bunch of her classes do it too, so a bunch more people will do it.
And we're gonna talk to some of your other, the folks over here that helped you out with this about some of the other accolades and some of the incentives that we have for folks. We'll talk about that later. But, tell me, I mean, where do you think this is gonna take you personally and professionally? I mean, this is an undertaking. What Miss Scott told me, what you guys are doing is so incredible that, it's a controversial issue because smoking is cool. We wanna vape at parties, we wanna vape, we wanna smoke because that's cool, although your mouth tastes like an ashtray, and I don't know about you, but if you see a boy smoking and you wanna kiss him, it's like you might as well kiss an ashtray, and you shouldn't be doing that anyway, so don't think about it. So it's cool, so that's controversial, and it brings up, you talk about the health risks, you talk about the fact that your minds aren't fully developed, you talk about all these things. Do you think you're getting through to the students?
Personally, I think yes, because being on so many teams, like, being around so many people, I've already heard people saying, like, "Oh, I've quit because of this. Oh, I've done this." Like, there are people that I've actually, like, talked to one-on-one that have been like, "Yeah, I don't do that anymore."
Well, that's good. That's a great thing. What have you learned about this research? I mean, you've done a bunch of research on this, Zoe. I know you both have, but what have you learned about this, and how do you think that's gonna help you in your collegiate career? Are you going to college, first of all, and where are you going?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to college.
Where are you gonna go?
Probably, Berea.
Okay, good. What about you?
I just got accepted into the OMSP program up at UPike,
Okay,
so
what the heck is OMSP?
Osteopathic Medicine Scholars Program.
Congratulations at UPike. Fantastic. How do you think the research that you've done is going to help you in your collegiate career?
Oh, well, I wanna go into nursing, so it probably will definitely help me with some things I'll see in a hospital.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it'll help me a little bit more than it would help just non-medical people.
Sure. And how do you think that research that you've done is going to help you in your collegiate? What kind of doctor do you want to be, first of all?
Cardio electrophysiologist.
So, I mean, you're gonna you bet if I ever see you walking around town with a cigarette or even somebody smoking secondhand smoke, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, this research is probably helping you out tremendously because you're seeing that you had to do hard work. You had to identify an issue, research the issue, research the effects of an issue, and come up with a solution to the issue, and broadcast that and say, here's how we get away from it. So when you become a nurse or a cardiologist or whatever you're going to do in the rest part of your life, you say, stop eating fatty foods, don't do drugs, don't drink, don't smoke, exercise, better diet, and you'll live a longer, happier life. So that's good. Um, the amount of surveys that you've done, are they paper surveys, online surveys? And you said Miss Scott's going to hand them out to your.
They're online surveys, and we have like QR codes that we can like put up in the hallway, and that kids can go and use their phone and just click on it and do the survey.
What kind of response are you getting from the faculty at the school about your project and your initiative? Or do you go into the teacher smoking lounge and say, "Hey, stop smoking," and they're sitting there? No, I mean, I'm only kidding.
I don't. I don't. I think all of the questions is it anonymous? I think so. So I don't really think we know exactly who's doing it. We just know that it's being filled out, and we're trying to put it like where it's accessible in hallway stairwells.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
So somebody could take their smartphone and take a picture of it and do the saving. Is the faculty, is the staff supportive of this initiative? And how did the UK Healthy Way come to Pikeville High School? How did this come about?
I feel like it's been here for like quite a while because my sister graduated in 2019 and she was in the program. So I feel like it's always been kind of something that we've been doing because a lot of us have been in this program since freshman, sophomore year.
Right.
So,
And UK is pretty prestigious. Does that feel like, you're doing something it's got to feel like you're doing something that's a worthy cause with a worthy, with a really reputable organization like the University of Kentucky. So how does that make you feel?
I guess it makes me feel good.
What about yourself? How do you feel being associated with UK?
I feel really I guess involved because one of my friend's sisters was in the UK Healthy Way program, and they said one of the bigger reasons that she got accepted into med school and to do interviews was because of this, because she had projects to do with it. She had community service, she had problem solving, all this different stuff. She had that, so that was one of the big reasons she got into med school. So I feel like that's something that's very important to me as well.
Absolutely, that's fantastic. Once this project is completed, it stays at the University of Kentucky archives with your names on it. So that's really cool. Well, Zoe and Katherine, I want to thank you. We've got 2 more guests coming in. I want to get to them real quick. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this. This is a very important program, and I commend you and wish you the best of luck in your future.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for, as I tell people, thanks for being had. Okay, we're back on the Panther Pawcast. I have 2 more special guests. We just got done talking to Zoe Cornett and Katherine Dolohite about the UK Healthy Way, the smoking, the cessation and vaping initiative that these brilliant students have taken upon. I'm joined by 2 more of their people. I've got Raven Jones, the young lady in red, and I've got Sierra Pinson, the young lady in blue. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the Panther Pawcast that we're doing. And I've got a bunch of questions that I want to ask you about your involvement and what you expect this to happen. So Raven, what excited you about this program?
Honestly, UK Healthy Way is just such a prestigious honor to be a part of, and I'm doing bad. I'm sorry.
You're doing good.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. That's fantastic. I was just going to commend you on saying it's a prestigious honor to be part of, so that's good.
Should I just say that again?
Yeah, just do it all over. So Raven, tell me what intrigued you about getting involved with this program?
UK Healthy Way is just such a prestigious honor, and I just knew it would look great on my resume for college.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about college here in a second. Sierra, what about you? What intrigued you about getting on this program?
Well, vaping is a big problem everywhere, but we've seen it recently pop up in our own high school, and we just thought it was a problem that needed to be fixed. So I was happy to help with that.
And you mentioned college, Raven. What are your future plans after you get out of high school?
I'm going to go to the University of Alabama, and
Alabama.
I want to be a dermatologist when I'm older.
Roll Tide. And what about you, Sierra?
I'm attending the University of Kentucky, and I'm majoring in nursing.
Well, good for you. So you're both going into the medical field. And like I asked Zoe and Katherine, tell me about how the research on this project, how you think it's going to help you in the next part of your career, Sierra?
Well, recently I have a few of my parents' friends at the hospital, and they said recently they've had a lot more cases of teenagers having shortness of breath and just other symptoms of vaping. So I think just as I go on in my career that it'll just pop up more often, and I want to know how to handle that.
Sure, exactly. Okay. Raven, tell me what, with all the research that you're doing, because this wasn't an easy task. How do you think this is going to prepare you for the next thing at Alabama about becoming a dermatologist? Because med school is not easy, just like nursing school is not easy, but you've had to do a lot of research. How do you think that's helping you prepare for this?
I think that it's gonna help me prepare for it. I'm sorry.
You're doing good.
I'm too scared I'm gonna do bad.
No, you're doing great.
What do you think I should say?
Tell me how you feel.
Safe
So,
ages this.
how do you
Should I just like talk about dermatology or like how I'll be in medical school?
tell me how the research, what part of the research you've done and how you think how hard that was? I mean, was it, I mean, it's not like you just said, "Oh, vaping is bad." You had to do some research, right? You had to go online, study, do all kind of stuff. How do you think that's going to help you when you go to the University of Alabama? Do you think it's going to help you because you've done a lot of research and you know how to research?
Mm.
So kind of talk to me about that and let me know what kind of research have you done?
Should I be like the research was hard, but I had great teachers to help me, and I also learned through dermatology that it'll age the skin and like give you spots on your face.
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
I learned through the research. Oh, I'm doing so bad.
You're doing so.
I'm so stressed.
There's no DV side. You're
All right, here's what I want you to do. Hands above your head. Deep breath, deep breath. Okay. So just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's very easy. Just, you had to do a lot of research for this project. Was it hard? Did you get help? And do you think that by doing that in-depth research is going to help you when you go to become a dermatologist?
The research was hard, but I had teachers to help me, and I definitely think this will help me with Alabama. I learned through the dermatology that it'll affect you with aging, and it also will give you spots on your skin.
That's the vaping that people are doing. Do you find have you guys found out that vaping is more prevalent than actual smoking cigarettes?
Yes.
Why is that? What have you found out in your research?
We think that it's targeted towards kids with the different kind of flavors and scents.
Yeah, and cigarettes are just nasty. And I was talking to Zoe and Catherine. First of all, about people think it's cool. You guys just said,
Mhm.
yeah, vaping is cool. It's really cool to do, and it's got good flavors to it. Back when I was growing up, I was telling them that Joe Camel was the guy with Camel cigarettes, and he was cool, and it was an animated thing. This is back in the 70s before your parents are probably even born, but it's not cool anymore. It's you smell like an ashtray, and God forbid you kiss a boy and you better not do any of that because it's really not a good thing. But there's so many health risks and health issues with vaping and smoking, because smoking, you got tobacco, vaping, you got carcinogenics through the chemicals. Tell me a little bit about what you've learned about the chemical the combustional chemicals and how that affects people.
Well, it's just very addicting. Like, if you try it one time, it'll just make you want to do it repeatedly. It's just like all the chemicals in there, they're really addictive.
We also learned that I can create this thing called popcorn lung, where your lungs turn into like popcorn and it affects your everyday life.
And it also affects breathing. So if you want to be an athlete and you get popcorn lung, you might as well forget that, right? Because you can't breathe. If you want to, have family members or start a family when you get out of college and you have a terrible vaping or terrible smoking habit or chew habit, or I don't know what they call it, that Zen stuff. That's going to trickle down. Your kids are going to see that and they're going to think it's cool and they're going to experiment with it. If it's not in the house, the people don't do it. My kids didn't grow up around it because I don't smoke, and so my kids don't do that now, and so that's a good thing. What other health risks have you saw about that? I know you talked about skin problems, and you talked about popcorn lung. We talked about how, at your all's age, your brains aren't really developed yet. And, that does that. Are there any other like physical side effects that your research has shown that you like nervousness or tension or anything like that?
It can definitely make you like jittery or like make your anxiety higher. Cause like just everything that you do, that's all you're thinking about is like, oh, when can I hit my vape next? Like it just makes you like on edge, I feel like.
So we have you're all's your age group, your generation, we're addicted to these stupid things, and we're looking at our phones 1,000 times a day. We can't wait to see who's doing something on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever it is that you're doing. So you got that, and you're doing this, and you're doing that. When do we have time to learn?
Exactly.
Has that come up? Have you guys addressed that in your research or anything like that? The addictiveness of this product?
Yes, we've actually spoke to teachers about it, and they say that kids will be like skipping class to go in the bathroom. Like Zen was a big problem.
Right.
And they've just realized that people are missing out on learning time to go in the bathroom and just do things that they shouldn't do.
And based on our surveys from last year, most students that said they did vape, they said they felt addicted to it
Right.
and not just something that they could do one time.
And so you did surveys last year and you're doing surveys this year, right?
Yes.
Have you have any the results from this year back yet?
Not yet. We're gonna start our surveys tomorrow.
Okay.
And then we can compare the data.
And compare the data. Okay, so you probably, Raven, have seen some of the data from last year's survey. You talked about the addictiveness of it. Is there any other thing that jumped out at you from the surveys that you received?
A lot of students felt like they had to do it, like they were peer pressured into doing it, that like did do it.
Wow. How do we get away from the peer pressure to smoke? I mean, you guys are under so much pressure right now. You've got to learn. You're competing with AI. It's, you're trying to figure out, what you're doing in life and getting careers. And now all of a sudden you got, drinking and smoking and vaping and all these other things. How do you guys at your age manage that? And what type of results do you think or things that you could say that we can help you stop vaping or help you not start in the first place? Is there any data that you guys have or research that you've completed on that?
We saw that chewing gum or even listening to music can just keep your mind off of it, or cleaning your bedroom. Like that's a good thing to do.
A lot of people also said like good friend groups and staying with a good
Like a
crowd.
support group.
Yes.
Okay, so, listen, we know that kids are going to do things they're not supposed to be doing, okay, and they're going to experiment and all that other nonsense. But we also know that if you associate with people who want to be successful or want to do great things, then that is contagious. It's like if you associate with a bunch of vapors, you're all going to vape. If you associate with football players, they're going to be football players. If you associate with cheerleaders, you're cheerleaders. If you associate with the beta club, you're going to want to be part of that. So is there like I don't want to say a non-vaping group, but is there a group of support group in your school that helps people not vape or try to alleviate the urge to do that?
Yes, I feel like Teens Who Care, we do a lot of anti-vaping stuff and just ways to cope with a lot of things that teenagers are going through. So I feel like Teens Who Care is a really good one.
So you guys, I know that we have the survey going on, and you've made some buttons and you've got T-shirts. And tell me what you got going on. Show me the buttons. And do you have a T-shirt handy that you could show me?
Well, I have some buttons with us. Zoe had the T-shirts.
Okay.
But we're handing these out at lunch. We're setting up tables, and anyone who pledges to be vape free can come get one.
And whose idea was that?
Um,
The group?
yeah.
Okay. And what about the T-shirts? What do the T-shirts say?
We had a poster contest, and the winners, we made their posters into a T-shirt.
And who's going to get a T-shirt? How do you get a T-shirt?
If you fill out the survey, random people are going to be selected and then they can win a t-shirt.
And it's a T-shirt that was made for you guys. So it looks like you got a lot of support from this project because, you got T-shirts made. Who came up with the design for the button?
Actually, the students did. We also did another contest for them for Miss Scott's class, and she let all of her biology students make some, and the winners got to be picked for buttons.
That's fantastic. You guys did a great job. If you take one thing away from the research and one thing away from this project, Raven, what would that one thing be for you?
I think how important it is to stay away from things that will harm your body and are bad for you.
Oh, that's fantastic. And what about you?
I just think that keeping students up to giving them the knowledge that they need to comprehend what is going on with their bodies and the stuff that they're putting inside of it.
At your age, though, the problem is that you guys think you're indispensable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that I thought I was indispensable when I was your age, and I'm significantly older. I've got both hips replaced, and I probably need a frontal lobotomy, but that's a whole different story. But we think we're indispensable. So it's important for kids to know that you're going to get older. Your body's going to start aching. You're going to start giving out. And if you start smoking now and you have popcorn lung or you have liver spots because you have smoking on it, nobody's going to want you when you're 30 years old.
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, ladies, you have done a fantastic job, just like Zoe and Katherine done. I commend you on the UK Healthy Way. And like I told them, this project is going to be there. It's going to be ingrained at University of Kentucky. Your names are going to be associated with it forever. It's a great project. I commend you on the project. I wish you a tremendous amount of success, not only with this project, but in your future endeavor. When you become a dermatologist, you come back. I don't smoke, so I may have a liver spot or two. At that point, you could tell me how to fix it. And hopefully I never have to see you because you become a nurse. I don't want to see you. I don't know what kind of nurse you want to be, but what kind of nurse you want to get into?
Well, I want to go into being a CRNA, so putting people to sleep for surgeries. So hopefully I'll never see you.
I just had my other hip replaced, and they put me to sleep because I wouldn't shut up, and that's it. So I wish you the best of luck in your future. Thank you so much for doing this very important project. Ms. Scott talks so highly of you guys, and it was such a great thing. I'm so proud of what you've done, and I hope that the community, and I hope that if you can get 1 or 2 students to stop vaping and change their lives, you have made a tremendous impact. Thank you for joining us on the Panther Pawcast, sponsored by Two Chicks and Company, downtown Pikeville, 767-7777. Go there, shop. They deliver to Pikeville High School, Pikeville Elementary School. Tell your teacher you love them. Tell your mom you love them. They'll deliver for free. Thanks again. Have a great day, and stop smoking.